All right, good morning. We're back, getting hard after it. So Tanya's here to give me some help. We got a lot going on today. We want to try and get this as much done as humanly possible. So arriving today, shocks, new rim, the Safari top, the windshield channel for the Safari top, new lug nuts for the driver's side, because when I got it back from the 4x4 shop, one was missing, and I don't know if it fell off when we were running it back home or what, but I ordered some more of those. And I also ordered a new hub for the front driver's side, and I'll get into that when I get over there. So the plan for now is to get the oil changed, check the rest of the kind of the fluids, differentials and all that sort of stuff. And then I want to get the shocks off, because I want to get the new ones on today. And we're lots going on in the household. So I'm just going to get cracking at this. I'll probably kind of keep it in the background. Oil changes and stuff you've seen a million times. Not that big of a deal. Shocks, same thing. I did that all already on the previous one. So this will be kind of a quick one. It's just more of getting this thing ready to go. So stick around. Okay, welcome back. So I did an oil change on it. Nothing super extravagant there. I did go, so I don't have the wicks because I didn't stop at the right parts store, but I did pick up a Mobil 1 filter. They're a little bit more expensive for what they are, but it's going to be just fine for this. They were on sale, so the trade-off was good. And then I did go with Rotella T4. So the reason for this, and if you really want to go down this rabbit hole, you can search all the TJ4 or the 4.0 engine preferred oil forums. Good luck. That's all I can say for that one, because it really is a rabbit hole. There's a billion different Jeep owners and a billion different opinions. So the reason why I went with the Rotella T, the diesel, because it's got the zinc and some other stuff in it for the flat tappet cam. Now, I don't run it all the time because the zinc buildup will plug the catalytic converter. So it's a trade-off. Some people do, and they just run it till the cat fails, I guess. But I'm going to, for the first one, because I don't know this engine, I'm going to throw that in there. It's just a T30. You can get it in 1540, 1040, all different variations, but it's going to do just fine for what we need. So I put the right amount in it this time. It was about almost 2 quarts over full. So that might be why that rear main seal's puking. And that's hard on the engines when you do that. So anyway, that's done. So now, instead of taking the shocks off, which I had planned, I've gone down a rabbit hole. The check engine light that's on the dash, I put the little reader on it, and it's the all 402 sensors, the heater circuit, which I had that happen on Tanya's, and it was the fuse. So I opened the fuse box to look. And I probably shouldn't have done that, because I found a feeder wire going to a relay, which goes over under the dash. And so now I'm chasing all that to see what that's trying to feed. So I'm going to keep going with this and see what we end up with. But ultimately, I'm just trying to get to the O2 sensor so I can clear that check engine light so it'll pass inspection. Because if it doesn't pass inspection, I'm dead in the water. So that's where we're at now. I'll keep plugging away at this, and I'll let you know what I find. So on the back here, I didn't show this yesterday, but you can see this is the aftermarket relocation bracket for the track arm.
Yeah.
Normally it bolts into here, but because of the lift kit, everything comes down, so it actually gives you another mounting point up high. And then it's adjustable on the other end, so you can move it side to side to keep the axle under the Jeep. So these are readily available. I know a bunch of different off-road companies make them. But cool. Yeah. And I was saying it the other day when we did the walk around, whoever did this lift actually did it
really well.
Well, somewhat right, which is great. I still think this pinion angle is rotated a little too far up, but they actually re-welded the perches. They adjusted the perches to account for the lift. So again, nicely done. Did they put the isolators in there? No, there's no isolators.
We're not taking it out.
Remember I did all that rework? I did that whole rework thing?
We're not doing it again.
This thing's going to be squeaking down the road.
It can squeak.
So they did a great job until it came to the isolators, and then they didn't put them in. But
it looks like the isolator's in the top, though.
Yeah, there's an isolator in the top, which is good, but the ones in the bottom are missing. That's too funny. Oh, I got grease everywhere. Okay, all right, that's it for now. So now we are literally just gonna wait for the new shocks to get here. So these bolts came out swimmingly. It's great when you're not battling with rust. They just zipped right out. So I'll clean them up and put them back in, and they should be good for another change out later in the future. So, all right, so Tanya and I have been just thrashing away.
Oh,
No,
wow.
no.
That makes that sound amazing.
We're old and crippled. But I did manage to get all the shocks off. So you probably saw on the front driver's side one kind of blew up in my hands. When I took it off the pedestal and extended it down, there was a ton of pressure in it. And as soon as I did, it shot the shaft out and blew fluid everywhere. So, yep, you kind of saw that. So, and then the rear passenger side is worn, but I mean, it's still functioning, but the driver's side is completely shot. So that isn't doing anything. And actually there was fluid all down the shaft, so it had blown out a little bit ago. But anyways, all the shocks are off. Bolts came out swimmingly, so literally no broken bolts. No broken bolts. Now we've got all the interior stripped out, so all the leaves and stuff. Tanya started on it, and then we decided we're going to take the seats out and kind of do it the right way. I got to get the center console out because the emergency brake lever doesn't lever anymore. The button is gone. So I ordered another one of these. I used one off of, I think it was Dead Jeep. Had one. So it's on its way. I think it'll be here today maybe. And then we've got Tanya's LJ loaded with the seats. We're going to go to the car wash and spa them and get them all cleaned up and then get them out in the sun so they can dry for the rest of the day. Nothing kills bacteria like UV rays. And I still got a few things to chase. The O2 sensors, the heater circuit on all four. I don't know. Went down a rabbit hole because I found a powered relay that goes under the dash, but I haven't chased it yet. So who knows what it's for? Could be the light. I don't know. Anyways, so we're heading to the car wash. We'll be back in a bit. All right, good afternoon and welcome back. I know no time has passed for you, but for us it's been just crazy. Tanya's chilling. We got pretty much everything we need. So my new Teraflex shock showed up. I got, I think that's a bag of new lug nuts. They're the same style that were on there. I just got 20 new ones. They're relatively inexpensive. The rim showed up. I just actually, we just ran that over to the tire shop. They're gonna mount it on, mount the old tire onto the new rim. And they're gonna give us a call when that's ready. It'll be a couple hours. So the other big thing that I'm fighting, probably can't see it under there, the O2 sensors. So I've still got a low heater circuit on all of them. I went under and looked, and those have never been changed.
and this thing has 100 and whatever 31,000 miles ish on it. So I'm just going to replace them. I ordered new ones. I'm going to run over to the parts store and pick them up. They'll be ready in about an hour or two. The problem is I can't get the upper two out. They are in there. So I got to go pick up a tool for that. I've been trying to use just a big 22 millimeter wrench, but I just don't have enough leverage to crank on it. So they make a little kind of socket conversion that you can put a breaker bar on. So that's my next step. When I moved from Canada, I didn't bring it with me. It's at home. So that's what we're working on now. So I'm going to get these shocks opened up with, I got a new one. This is a little Civivi, single action D10 steel, super strong. So we can get these all cranked open. So I'm going to work on this now. I'm going to measure up these shocks against the other ones just to make sure that everything fits. Like I said, these were for a 4-inch lift, so I should be okay. And we'll see where we end up. I'll check back with you in a minute. Okay, so I just opened this up just to check to make sure, and everything is good. It's about a 1/4 inch longer, which is totally fine. So these are going to work just great. Like I said, these are the Teraflex 9550s. They're relatively new, so we're going to give these a shot and see actually what they how they perform. But they are definitely a lot stiffer than the broken ones that were on there. Long day. So I don't even know where I left you last. We recorded and then we didn't. I don't even know what we were doing. I think we came back from the tire shop. I don't know. Anyway, we blew up, did we? Yeah, we got all that. So we went and picked up the tire, got all that done. The shocks came. I showed you those. That's where we were. I showed you the shocks and the length and everything was good. So like we mentioned, I went with the Teraflex, the 9550s. Got those all mounted. Fronts went on, no problem. The backs, we had a small issue with clearance on the perch, on the spring perch. When they rotated the axle, they actually relocated the perches square back on top, but they used a bigger perch. Which is fine, it's great, but the problem is the clearance to the rear shock. The Teraflex have a bigger body, so I didn't have the clearance that I needed to get them in, so I ended up notching the perches a little bit to get those in. Not a big deal. Got them all mounted, everything's good, got about a 1/4 inch clearance around the shock. One thing I did notice is there was wear marks on the perches from the other shocks. And what happens is when you bottom and that angle hits, that's probably what broke that shaft and wrecked that one shock.
Not the accident.
No,
No, yeah, when the front shock
Tire off, but not the shocks.
oh yeah, that front shock exploded in my hands. So that was kind of, I've never had anything like that happen before. That was an adventure. So we got the seats all washed. They're actually back in. They're dried. Tanya cleaned everything out, vacuumed it all. I got the center console out right now. Let's just do a quick thing here. I feel like I'm ripping you off. So the interior, it's probably dark in here, but I took out the center console. Well, Tanya did. Because I had to replace the brake lever. So I got that used one from Dead Jeep. It's like $40. Free shipping. So, and it was like a 2-day shipping. So that's all done. Everything else is good. I got seat covers for this. They're the red and black ones that came with the other LJ. I bought Tanya dead black. So I'm gonna just use what I have because I just don't want to spend any more money than I have to.
I like the black ones.
Yep, she can keep them. Maybe I'll swap them when she's not home. Nope, that won't end well. So the couple things that I'm fighting right now left is the O2 sensors. I replaced 3 of them. The 4th one I cannot get out. The upstream on bank 2, it is stuck. So I replaced the other 3. I still have the check engine and they're all still showing that low heater circuit. So I got to fight that because it will not pass inspection with that. So I don't even know. Well, I'll start researching and digging into that and we'll definitely let you know what I find out. I haven't tested the differential lockers. I quickly, put it into 4-low and wanted to see if the light on the dash, but nothing. So I tried to listen to the air compressors, but they're so small that it's hard to hear. So I'm going to dig into that. I might end up taking the air hoses off and have Tanya with me and we'll see if we can feel that little half-pound puff of air come out of there. Just now it's going to be chasing the cosmetic stuff and some of the fancier things. Got to put some sort of a 8-track player in there. Maybe I'll go to a cassette. We'll live a little. Got to get all that done.
Yeah, because you're going to go old school with any kind of sound system.
We're going to run the 80s. Nothing like a little Meatloaf on cassette.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's it. Everything else is good. So I don't think there was anything else major that we did today. It felt like we did a lot, but we really didn't do a whole bunch. These tires are heavy.
They're big.
It took 2 of us to get them on. Yeah, they're heavy. So anyway, we're going to go get cleaned up and go take this thing out and have a nice dinner and celebrate a little bit. So thanks everyone. And we'll see you on the next one.